Tonight on Connecticut's news station, a former state representative sentenced.
To the residents, I truly am sorry.
It has harmed every aspect of our city of West Haven.
How long Michael DeMassa will spend behind bars for misusing COVID funds.
Plus, a local official identified as the hit-and-run driver that left a teen in critical condition.
Summer heat the next couple of days, but it won't last. We'll talk about it coming up.
And from trash to treasure.
They took a mess and made literally a masterpiece.
How one community is coming together to make a difference, one block at a time.
Talk about making an impact. A new enterprise has opened in Wallingford. The objective, to help foster families. I'm Jim Altman. That story ahead on the Fox 61 News.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the news at 6. I'm Penn Goldman.
And I'm Julia LeBlanc in for Jen tonight. We're turning now to a former elected state representative who betrayed public trust and stole more than $1 million in COVID relief money. And this was all at the height of the pandemic.
Former West Haven City Council aide Michael DeMassa sentenced now to 2+ years in federal prison today. Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez was at Hartford Federal Court where DeMassa apologized to the residents of West Haven for the first time since being arrested.
The judge calling this a crime of opportunity fueled by a gambling addiction and access to public funds. Michael DeMassa's sentence was reduced based on his cooperation with the investigation, but West Haven's mayor says that it will take a generation for the city to recover.
To the residents, I truly am sorry.
32-year-old Michael DeMassa apologizing to more than 55,000 residents of West Haven for the first time since conspiring to commit wire fraud of more than $1.2 million, earmarked for COVID-19 relief during one of the most challenging times in recent history.
I felt it was only right to apologize, on camera to the residents, to the constituents that I've stole this money from. They deserve that. They deserve my apology. The state of Connecticut deserves my apology.
DeMassa was elected to represent West Haven in the General Assembly and was employed by the city as a city council staffer and direct report to the city council chair, one of only 2 people with access to COVID relief funds when he became the driver of a scheme of false invoices, spending much of the money at Mohegan Sun to fuel his gambling addiction.
The people that were dying with COVID, needing relief from COVID, needed vaccines from COVID, shut-ins that had no way to vaccines.
DeMassa's abuse of public trust and fall from grace has negatively impacted West Haven's reputation and bond rating and will continue to do so for decades, according to Mayor Nancy Rossi.
The residents are very, very upset about this. This hasn't passed in West Haven. It's not like, well, okay, we're on the other side. No, we're not on the other side. This may be a beginning if he turns his ways, but that's a big if right now.
U.S. Judge Omar Williams sentencing DeMassa Wednesday at federal court in Hartford to 2 years and 3 months in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. He has to pay back nearly $866,000 in restitution to the city.
I question whether 2 years and 3 months is too lenient.
DeMassa didn't conspire alone. His sentence reduced for aiding the investigation and prosecution of 3 co-conspirators, including his wife Lauren, who is currently serving a 6-month sentence while 7 months pregnant. DeMassa is to report to federal prison by July 31st. Which institution is yet to be determined. He's also to participate in a gambling treatment program, and he's prohibited from visiting any casinos. In Hartford, I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Samaya, thank you. To Windsor Locks now, where police are still looking for a man they say should be considered armed and dangerous. This is who they're looking for, 36-year-old Bruce Michaud. Police say he never came back to a halfway house like he was supposed to. Windsor Locks PD tell us that Michaud led them on a chase driving this car, a 2019 gray Subaru Impreza. Police are asking people out there to keep an eye out as they believe he may be armed.
To Waterbury now, where a 17-year-old is now fighting for his life after being hit by a car while riding his scooter. Now, that car drove away, and police are now identifying the driver as a well-known former chairman in the city. Fox 61's Carmen Chow spoke to the family member of the teen and shares her message tonight.
It happened in this busy area of West Main Street by Highland Avenue. A family member telling me the teen was just getting off of work at night and he had just come to the United States for 6 months with hopes to find a better life.
He's fighting for his life.
17-year-old Brian Gaye was getting off of work Friday around midnight, riding on a scooter to get back home. All of a sudden, police say 58-year-old John Egan of Waterbury hit Gaye and drove off. Egan is well known in the community. He was the chairman of Waterbury Zoning Commission. Gaye was rushed to Connecticut Children's Medical Center, where doctors are trying to save his life. His cousin, Martha Ortiz, who owns this barber shop in Waterbury, says all Gaye wanted to do was to make some money and start going to school.
He's such a good boy, friendly. He's very nice guy. He came hoping to get a better life, going to the school.
The family's attorney, Ioannis Kaloidis, says the incident appeared to be accidental, and his focus is getting Gaye's parents from Ecuador to the United States in case things take a turn for the worst.
There's no visible bruising, but he did hit his head when he went down, and I guess he hit it hard enough where it's created some severe swelling on the brain.
Time is running out for Gaye to receive the proper treatment, as many procedures cannot be done until his parents arrive to the country. Police say an arrest warrant is now in the works. Ortiz has this message for Egan.
Be a person, be a man, showing up. This is the hardest part, because if he will stop call before, Brian could have better chance.
The family also telling me they are in the process of putting together a GoFundMe page, and when that becomes available, I'll be sure to pass along the link. Reporting in Waterbury, Carmen Chow, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Tough one, Carmen. Thank you. In New Britain, the school district is now investigating after a student apparently gave out edibles to other students at Slade Middle School. The incident happened on Tuesday. It's unclear how many students were given those edibles or how seriously they were affected by them. The school district says it will continue to uphold its zero-tolerance policy towards drug use at all schools. Police and school officials are now investigating and will take appropriate action against those involved.
New video tonight of a car crashing into a 7-Eleven in Waterbury. Take a look at this. It happened Saturday at the store on Baldwin Street. Now you can see that red car turning into the parking lot and then crashing right through the front of that store. We're told there were no injuries, thank goodness. No word yet on what actually caused this crash into the building. All right, 6:07 now, and we're turning to the weather. It was a beautiful day out.
Yeah, pretty warm, already in summer mode here, Rach, and it's only going to get warmer.
Yeah, it is going to get downright hot the next couple of days, especially if you live away from the Connecticut shoreline, with temperatures taking a run at the 90-degree mark and even into the 90s for Friday, when we could take a run at records. It's important to note each day it will be cooler at the shore, though. 70s tomorrow at the beaches and 80s during the day on Friday. Still a little bit of smoke and haze in the sky today. You can see that hazy look here in the distance, especially from our New Haven city cam, but it's not at the same concentrations as it was at this time yesterday, when people were reporting that they could actually smell the smoke in the air. Still, you can see, especially here in southwestern Connecticut, still a bit of that smoke left over, and we're picking up on that on our computer guidance. But notice, heading through the evening tonight, we finally see that smoke continue to dissipate, so no haze in the sky tomorrow. Although there will be poor air quality for different reasons, which we'll talk more about in a little bit. Right now, we're looking at temperatures that are mostly in the 70s, including 78 in the Hartford area, but it's cooler at the beaches, mid-60s in Groton and low 70s for Waterbury. Temperatures tonight by the news at 10 will be in the low 60s for most of the state. And here's a look at the day tomorrow. Mid to upper 70s at the beaches, but upper 80s to near 90 degrees for parts of inland Connecticut, and it gets hotter for Friday. We'll talk about how this heat ends with a bang. Full forecast, including a wetter and cooler weekend coming up.
All right, Rachel, see you in a bit. Well, happening tonight, former UN ambassador and South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley will be speaking in Stamford at the Connecticut GOP's annual Prescott-Bush dinner.
Yeah, Fox 61's political reporter Emma Wolfhorst is there now, and she joins us with a preview. Hi there, Emma.
Hi, Julia, Ben. Everything's getting set up here. It's still pretty quiet in the ballroom behind me, but a little bit of excitement growing as the tables and the stage are being set for the state Republican Party's annual awards dinner. Like you said, former UN Ambassador and South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley will be the keynote speaker tonight. And right now, she's also a hopeful for the Republican nomination in the 2024 race for the White House. She announced her candidacy back in February and is now joined by other hopefuls like former President Donald Trump and now most recently Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And earlier today, the Connecticut Democratic Party chair put out a statement on Haley's visit to Stamford today, writing in part, Haley is, quote, the perfect pick to headline a fundraiser for the Connecticut Republicans. First a critic, then an appointee, and now a rival of Donald Trump. She is currently embracing the most extreme components of the MAGA agenda. Again, that was a statement from the chair of the Connecticut Democratic Party on Haley speaking as the keynote at tonight's dinner. Dinner will be served at 7 o'clock, and then Haley will speak shortly thereafter. We will be here all night and we'll bring you more details once she speaks later on in the evening. For now, live in Stamford, Emma Wolfhorst, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Emma, thank you for those details. Now, state senators passed a bill that would bring early voting to Connecticut in 2024. It's now heading to Governor Ned Lamont, and he is expected to sign it. Coming up at 6:30, Fox 61's Jake Garcia will break down what this could actually look like for our state.
New tonight, Secretary of State Stephanie Thomas hosted a poll worker appreciation day to recognize efforts of local election officials. Today's event in Milford is the third stop this month as part of Secretary Thomas's poll worker appreciation program. Over 70 poll workers were honored with a certificate by the Secretary of State. Out of more than 70 honored, more than half have been working at polls for more than 20 years.
Well, our state lawmakers went back to school today, eating lunch on trays and trying out cafeteria food, all to draw attention for the fight for free school meals. Now, the first bill signed by Governor Lamont this session was free lunches for the rest of this school year. But advocates say it needs to go further than that. So they want worked into the state budget free school lunch and breakfast for next year and the year after that. The Speaker of the House, Matt Ritter, confirming today that right now, the budget has $17 million set aside. Now, that would mean expanded free school meals, but not for every school.
Still to come.